Hello and welcome to Happy Cells and Souls. My name is Julie Powers. I'm a licensed Zumba instructor and I'm a business partner with the Juice Plus company. My mission in life is to help people understand that life is better when they're dancing through it and to inspire healthy living. But my expanded mission is to create better health at the cellular level and more joy at the cellular level. We only get one body while we're here on this planet and we better take care of it. But we also need to be happy and joyful and spread light and love in the world as we're walking through our life. And so one of the things that I like to do is capture these conversations on video that I get to meet and know all kinds of people throughout my life, and I want to share some of their conversations with you. I don't think that it really matters what backgrounds we come from, social, political, cultural, religious. We can learn something from every single person if we just keep our minds and our hearts open. And today we get to learn from Linda Huck. And I've known Linda for a while. We were just reminiscing that she started teaching as the band director right at the middle school, but the assistant band director at high school when I was in high school. I was not in band. I was a cheerleader and I was in choir, but I was not a musical instrument person. I was not good at that, but I loved listening to the band and I loved being at the football games and watching the bands perform. The percussion section, my most favorite. So Linda, you were a band instructor for 32 and a half years. You taught all different ages. You have been part of the Missouri Bandmaster Association. You were recently, I think that you're a celebrity now, but you were recently a member of the Hall of Fame for the Missouri Bandmaster Association. You are the music coordinator for the Lindbergh School District in St. Louis right now, because you couldn't just hang out after you officially retired. You had to stay in the mix. And you are the school service representative for Marlar Music in Park Hills, Missouri. But you're also going to be an instructor for the newly formed Mineral Area Fine Arts Academy. And we can talk about that a little bit later. But there's just so much music in your life. And I love that because anybody who's watched any of my videos will know that music is really, really important to me. And I think that you have had this very unique position in life where you can watch the sparks fly when kids and adults are connecting with the music that they are making. And so for me, it's mostly hearing it and absorbing it and dancing. And for you, it's teaching people how to express themselves through the music and make the notes happen. And,
Right.
so that those of us out here that are hearing it and enjoying it can do the rest, right?
Sure.
But I think that band is so unique in that it's not just playing music. Especially, if you're in the marching band, you've got a lot of stuff going on. So
Right.
can you just tell us about your experience as a band director for so many years and different things that you've learned along the way?
Sure. I'm going to start by going back to when I think I first started getting interested in instrumental music. My mother was a church organist for our local church. And she had lessons when she was very young from a nun because she went to a Catholic school. But her education only went to the 8th grade. And after that, she went home to work on the family farm. Her father, my maternal grandfather, had 4 brothers, and each one of them played an instrument, and they formed a family dance band back in those days that would play at dances.
Fun.
And I didn't know a lot about that until one day I was at my grandparents' house and I was snooping around in their closet and I found a guitar. And so I asked my grandpa about it. So he told me that he used to play with his brothers. And he got the guitar out and he started showing me some things like how to play a chord, how to hold it and strum it. And after that, man, I was hooked.
Now wait,
Uh,
how old were you at this time?
it was pre-junior high, so I was probably in third to fifth grade, something
Okay.
like that. But I was really, really interested in it, and a few of my friends in that part of I lived out in St. Genevieve County, so I wasn't in town. But a few of my friends, their families also had guitars, and one of their mothers got us all together and started teaching us songs and how to play chords and sing songs with them. And we did a couple of performances at church, and just playing at somebody's house for fun. That was kind of the beginnings for
Right.
me. And then when I was getting ready to go to junior high school back then, the option to take band was offered. And at first, I didn't even think to sign up. And my sixth grade teacher pulled me up to her desk one day and she said, well, you don't have any electives here. You just have a study hall. Why don't you take band? You like music, don't you? And I said, well, yeah, I like music. So I signed up for band because of her and the boy that was my rival for grades all through elementary school, he signed up for band.
Oh, so you had to show him up.
Absolutely,
Okay, got it.
absolutely.
I got it. All right. I love the
So that's how I got started in band, but I loved it when I started, and uh, selfishly, that was the one subject that I did better than he did in high school.
So when you signed up for band, what instrument did you play at the beginning?
I chose the clarinet because he chose the clarinet. I didn't know what I wanted to play. And he was in line ahead of me at the instrument display and he picked clarinet. So guess what I picked?
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Isn't
And
that something?
and so you've played clarinet your whole life, uh,
Hmm.
but you also have kind of specialized in the bassoon.
Right. I did. When you decide that you want to major in music and do music education for band, you have to specialize and take private instruction on one instrument, which is what they call your primary
Right.
instrument. And I had chosen bassoon because I started to learn that in high school. I did not have a private teacher, and I really fell in love with the bassoon because it was unique, and it was difficult. It was challenging to play, and there weren't too many bassoonists around. So it's kind of
Right.
like, oh, that's kind of special. So that's what I chose. But I still do, I play clarinet, and I had to go through classes to learn all the band instruments so I could teach them.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So, okay, we've got a lot to cover in a very short period of time. So, let's talk about when you started teaching band. Um, how do you help kids learn what instrument is best for them? And let's make it really clear from like this moment that music is for all ages, and it doesn't matter if you're in elementary school or junior high or high school and you're playing in the band as a part of a school subject, but it's okay for you to pick up an instrument and learn it later in life. You can even take it along with your kids, right, and
Right.
learn the
Mhm.
same instrument or another instrument that you guys can accompany each other, and it's literally for everyone. So how do you help people choose the right instrument?
Well, in a school setting, we usually would demonstrate the instruments for the students the year before they could make the choice to be in band. So we would visit their elementary classroom or do it through their elementary music class or through an assembly. We would just, show the kids the instruments, play a little bit, and say, this is what this sounds like, and just go through. And then sometimes we would do play testing where we would have students try to play a sound on the mouthpiece to see if they were successful. But for the most part, our philosophy was that if a child was excited about something, that their first choice would be what we would try to go with, if at all possible. Now, occasionally, there is something physical about their mouth, teeth, or face that we would issue a warning. It's like it might be a little bit harder to do this instrument because of the way your facial features are.
Right.
But if a student really had their heart set on something, we would really try to let them, because that's where they're going to be the most motivated. Um, and it just generally worked out, that usually. And then some students would come and say, well, I don't really know what I want to play. And then we could kind of guide them into what we think would work best for them.
Right, right. And generally, I know there are lots of studies on,
Hmm.
brain development and music education, and I can't quote them right now, but I could Google them later. And everybody who's watching this can Google this later, about the importance of learning music, whether you're singing and learning how to read the notes just for vocal music, or if you're learning instruments. And each instrument has unique ways of learning, those
Hmm.
patterns and using your hands or your mouth, like you said. And so it connects the brain, the synapses in all different ways, and it helps in so many different areas. And there are studies showing the correlation between better understanding and higher grades in math and science when you're into music, right?
Hmm.
So can you talk about that as well?
Well, I'm not a scientist, but I have read the research as well, and I know that just the act of making music, whether it be playing the piano or singing or playing an instrument, it helps develop additional nerve synapses
Hmm.
that can help. I guess it just makes you better, because the nerves are developing. I I really can't
I think it's
explain it,
like
but I know.
the number of neurons in the brain increase
Right,
exponentially
right.
when you have the musical connection. It's like they go,
Hmm.
it's all over the place.
Right. Well, I've seen one study where they take they take a shot of a person's brain activity while they're doing different tasks. And when they're doing music, you're right. It goes crazy because it's doing so much up there, which is
Right.
I what they have found is to be very good for a person. So,
Well, and then you start out in the younger grades, everybody's seated or they're standing to play their instrument, but they're stationary. Then
mhm,
you get to the high school level and they start marching band. And now all of a sudden they have to play their instrument. And some of those are pretty huge and awkward instruments to be walking around with, just a normal walk. But now
mhm.
you're throwing in all these marching and turns and flipping this up and, doing some unique moves.
Mhm.
Tell me about that.
Well, it's like marching band is like multitasking at its finest,
Yeah,
because you have to think about, you have to develop enough muscle memory to be able to play your instrument without really thinking about it as much, so you can pay attention to where you're going on the
right,
football field. So you're just doing, your mind is working like overload just to
right.
get all that in. Um, but it's really exciting when that happens. Another moment that I had in my life where I knew that I was in a place where I needed to be, that really spoke to me, was when I was in high school and we would get together for marching band for the first time at the beginning of a school year, like right about now. We would start to have band camp and
Uh-huh.
things, and I remember going for a whole summer without, playing with a band or seeing a lot of my friends. And then remembering sitting there for the first rehearsal and hearing the band play like the first few notes, I just got goosebumps. And I just knew, I'm like, yes, this is where I need to be. This is my place. And that's one of the reasons why I went into teaching music, was to give that kind of a feeling to my own students,
Right.
because band is a safe place for a lot of kids.
Right, right. That's where a lot of kids find their people. They find their
Right.
tribe. They know
Hmm.
that they can connect to someone on their level, even if they feel awkward and isolated from
Hmm.
the other crowds. Um, I has there been anything studied on the percussion versus the other music? Because I just feel like when I hear that drum beat, when the band is out playing, I would go play tennis while I would hear the band playing, years ago when we still had the courts at the high school. And if they were having band camp or practice, and I would just not even be able to play tennis because I just want to just boom, 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 boom. I just get caught in this rhythm.
Right.
And I feel like there's something so um, primal about that
Mhm.
beat. And gosh, can you talk about that? We only have like 5 minutes left, Linda. We got a lot to cover, but percussion,
Well,
percussion.
I think the beat, because our heart beats, so we have natural rhythm within our bodies. So
Mhm.
I think that percussive beats like that, or cadences or whatever, that make you feel like you want to get up and move, that's natural to our basic instinct.
Right,
That's why one reason why music is such an important part for us. And it speaks to you because dance is such an important part for you,
right,
you know?
right. So I have to have
Yeah.
the beat. I have to have the beat.
Yeah.
So let's talk about real quickly the Mineral Area Fine Arts Academy, because some of the people that will find this video will not have any idea why we have such a thing here. So real quickly, Mineral Area College here in the Park Hills, Missouri area, they have had to cut their entire theater and music. I mean, it's just been sad that the entire departments are gone now.
Mhm.
So there was a community effort to bring it back. And it's not
Right.
part of the college, it's this independent organization. So can you explain what that is going to include and how somebody, whether they're a young student or an adult or a senior citizen who really wants to be part of music or drama, um, there's choral and there's instrumental music, how would they get involved with something like that?
Sure. Well, shortly after Mineral Area College announced those cuts, a group of community folks from the mineral area decided that they needed to band together and start something that would keep the arts alive in our part of the state. Because there are good music programs, good theater programs here, and we want students in the public schools to have another opportunity. We want community members to have other opportunities to express and be involved in the arts. So the Mineral Area Fine Arts Academy offers large ensembles such as band, jazz band, and choir for any. Actually, those large ensembles are primarily like high school age and up. So we're also looking for community members to be a
Uh-huh.
part of that. If you sang or played an instrument in school, dust it off, get it out, and come and join a group. And it's so much fun. We also have small group classes, as well as private instruction. Our website, which is MA Fine Arts, right, .org.
Yes.
MA Fine Arts, those are all lowercase, one word, .org. If you go to that website, we have a complete listing of all the course offerings, and there's too many right now for me to just say off the top of my head. You go
Right.
anywhere from bucket drumming to handbells to jazz improv to whatever, piano classes, guitar classes, ukulele, uh, just there are a number of instructors from the area that really want to see this work, and we want to encourage anyone to come take a class. There are 8-week sessions, so you're not committing to a whole year. We decided to make those a little bit shorter because we know people are busy, but
Mhm.
perhaps you could, do a class for 8 weeks and see if you like it. All the information for registration and the fee schedule is on that website that I mentioned. We're having an open house in the Fine Arts Department at MAC on August the 14th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. A number of the instructors will be there. We'll be taking you on a tour of the facilities and showing you what we have to offer as far as classes. There'll also be a few little performances that day. That's August the 14th. It's a
So
Saturday.
when somebody sees this and it's after the fact, they will still
Hmm.
be able to go to the website, or
Absolutely.
and I'll include
Yeah.
the phone number in the
Hmm.
text below so that they can call.
Right.
I will say this, that recently the very first thing that the Mineral Area Fine Arts Academy did was they produced this amazing show, Shrek the Musical.
Hmm.
And it was as a fundraiser for the drama teacher at the Farmington High School,
Hmm.
who was recently diagnosed with a pretty severe health condition.
Hmm.
And it was literally the best live production I have seen in Farmington, Missouri in my entire life. And
Yes, it was very well done.
it was well done. And that was really the culmination of pulling together vocal, instrumental, because there was a live band
Mhm.
and live music, they were singing live, and theater. And you had not just the people on the stage, but those people backstage, the cast and the crew working together, and the people that built the stage, the props, the everything. And so many things came together for the community, and it showed the community that this needs to continue. This needs to
Mhm.
continue, and that music is important, theater is important, and people like you who have spent your entire life helping students of every age find their niche, find their notes, and make music. I appreciate that, and I thank you for being part of that in life, because we need more music. We need more music in life.
Absolutely.
Do you have,
Absolutely.
do you have any final words to say before I turn the recording off?
Well, I would encourage everybody to keep music in your life some way, even if it's listening and appreciating or going to a live concert here in the area, supporting your children if they express a desire. Don't tell them they can't. Let them try. You never know. My father was not musically inclined at all. My husband plays the radio really well, and that's about it. So, it doesn't have to be genetic in the family. Anybody can try, anybody can be involved in the arts.
Right. Perfect. Thank you so much, Linda. I really
You're
appreciate you
welcome.
taking the time to share.
Thank you, Julie.